Welcome to War 8 of Season 25. I am not really too sure how to start off this video. I have just some fights that just go perfectly, and, it's just so easy. Starting off right here, I have Thing versus Iron Man Infinity War. This node's rather complicated in so many ways because of the EMP modification, the Burden of Might. And then while the global doesn't affect this fight because Iron Man Infinity War is either medium or small, I can't remember, but he doesn't affect the global. And I just, like my original thought on this fight was I'm just going to use Thing, go for a lot of repairs, and then try to avoid getting auto blocked. Was really the big danger sign. And originally I was just going to evade out of the specials, and then I'm like, I change a few times during this fight, like, at some points I'll block the specials. I'm like, well, I'll just take the block, so I can increase my fury. Part of the reason I brought Torch was, so I could have more easy access to increasing my fury gain. So it's a little bit complicated. Thing I don't understand about Iron Man Infinity War, and I couldn't remember reading this in its kit, was when you look at his armor ups, they're not supposed to reduce crit chance as well. And while crit bypasses armor, and yet when you fight an Iron Man Infinity War, what happens? When he has an armor up, you don't crit. And I don't really quite understand that. So I might need to look into that a little bit more. So here, I just kind of slipped up. But, Thing is shock immune. That's the reason he's really good for EMP modification. And at this point, I'm just going to parry heavy and just not even going to worry about it. Like, I've already messed up once, and it's like, it is what it is. There's no point in really worrying about it. I still have over 65% health at this point. Yeah, so all I need to do is, worst case, is just back off, let his armor ups fall off, and then, use special and use attacks and, just try to, simmer it down a little bit. And then pretty much what I just did right here is I let the armor ups fall off, and then I threw the special 3, and it did quite a lot of damage. And you can see here, going back in, I trying to reparry, and for some reason I crit, and it's like, well, there's game. So going into this next fight, it's Blade, and I don't really know why he's here, to be honest. If the defender has an armor up buff, he'll cause you to bleed, but Blade's not going to gain an armor up buff. So what? It's just like, Blade, as a 5-star is almost a joke at this point. Like, the only time he's really dangerous is on Kinetic Reactor. So this is just a puzzling fight to me. Like, I'm trying to figure out why they would put him here, and I couldn't figure out any of the trap on him. It's more just like, okay, well, if you're running suicides or you don't have someone with a bleed immunity, then things can get a little sketchy. Otherwise, it's like, it's a 5-star Blade. Like, 5 stars typically aren't going to get kills in master level wars unless someone's a moron like I was last season. And but that was on a rage node, and it's I don't really want to get into that. So the places where a 5-star can typically get kills is negligible in masters level war alliances. So this fight to me is kind of a little bit boring, and it's a, like a is what it is type of fight. It's like, bring in the right champion, and, you're not going to have a problem. So here we are. It's the finish. I'm trying to remember the rest of this. I do do some pausing after my wars because I'm just like, all right, I'm going to take a minute and to think. Oh yeah, the next fight is Dormammu, and this one will not take a lot of time. It's a very, very quick fight. Like whether this is Torch at his finest as a rank 3 6-star, no worries. Just like, go in there, and all you have to do is fight. That's all there is to this fight. Like, I mean, you go in here and parry, medium, light, medium, parry, medium, light, medium, parry, medium, light, medium, parry, medium, light, medium, like, he doesn't have kinetic reactor, so I don't even care. Like, oh, okay, well, if you don't want to throw it, that's fine. Oh, okay. And you're dead. That fight's just funny. Like, there's no sweat on that fight. There's no, like, rush on that fight. It's just like, yep, you died. It's just a ridiculous fight. Like, Torch just smokes it. So here I am going into the dragonman mini boss, and I had gotten kind of called out, like, Rulk's not the best option for this. You over boost, like if you didn't do all that type of stuff, you didn't throw on the 3-minute boost, you wouldn't be as good on, Rulk versus Dragonman. And I'm like, no, it's fine. So I intentionally under boosted. Like, normally I'm going to throw on the bigger boost. I'm at least going to throw on the 20% combo boost. Whether or not I throw on the silver boost and a little bit, we'll see. And I'm like, dude, I'll be fine. And so I took it as a little bit of an insult that people were starting to say, like, Rulk can't do this fight, unless you're like super over boosted. And I'm just like, no, Rulk is like super good for this fight. You just got to understand the fight mechanics. And the fight mechanics is, as soon as he gets to a special one, you have to start baiting. And if he has MD, then it's a little bit more difficult. And right there, I even screwed up. No lie. I just screwed up, and I'm like, okay, we're fine. Just do a little reset. Yeah, mistimed it a little bit. And then here, I screw up again. I got parried, like, because I did the stupid thing of the double dash back. And that's something I have said before is when you evade as heavy, if you're not cornered, don't do the double dash back. Because the double dash back on his heavy immediately makes the window on punishing it so much more tighter and more difficult. Don't ever do the double dash back. Get comfortable in duels or however you have to do it with the single dash back, and that's it. And you can see here, I used a 10% combo boost. Everything else was normal, and it lights out. Rulk is so good for that fight. Like, I understand, like, Quake can do that fight, and, like, with a really good Quake player, it's safer, but, So, in the end, though, we lost this war. I mean, it didn't really matter. And that really sucks, because I don't know, like, we didn't play bad, but I guess maybe just our competition with this particular map, with these particular globals, is just, catching up to us. But, it is what it is. So, I'm still deathless. You can see my TDR right there, 40.74. Total PR, 43.59. In my BG, I'm still just 5. And I've had a couple of my BG members who, they just have that, like, I had a bad day. And those are the only people I'm pretty much above. Like, I'm still, like, considering myself, like, 8 to 9, maybe 10th level, in skill wise out of my BG. Like, I've got immense respect for my battle group. But overall for Loki, I'm up to like 14, and it's like, wow, overall this season I'm doing pretty good. But all it takes is one war for me to have a death, and that solar rate bonus is just gonna plummet, and I'll be back to my normal like 20s overall in the battle group. So, or in the alliance. So it is what it is. But anyway, y'all have a good one, and let's hope I can finish out this season deathless.